So it is raining. You know what? When it's about rain, the calisthenics spots are always there empty, because the majority of people, and I'm always hammering on this, the majority of people, they like to be in the most comfortable conditions every single day. Comfort, 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 comfort. But here it comes. The danger of comfort is simply living a life of slavery, mediocrity. Is that disrespectful? No. But most people do want more, but are not willing to pay the price, right? There's one guy walking on the calisthenics spot over there, but that's also what he's doing, just passing by. And by the way, again, never disrespect any person, even if they become very offensive in real life. But the amount of people, the percentage of offensive people are very, very minimal, which I really appreciate. Even on the comments. And you know what I always think, negativity comes from bottom feeders, nothing else. And because the CEO of a big company will never make time to leave some negativity in somebody else's content, because they simply don't have time for that. They got better things to do. Focus on the positivity, like me. And the only reason that I'm talking about those red flags, human characteristics like laziness and I don't know what, making fun of other people, is simply only for people who want to get out of this 9-to-5 rat race, out of the slavery where your master tells you you have to be here at 9 o'clock and you can leave maybe at 5 o'clock, and if you don't do what I'm saying, then you get fired and I replace you. But in the meantime, I pretend that I love you a lot, and you can build bonds with your colleagues, and you say, yeah, but Alan, I love my job and the people really care about me. Really, really, you ever put it to the test? You ever put it to the test? I'm gonna say it, you ever put it to the test? Because I know I talk with people, and we talked about several topics, like, you know, start doing things from the phone. Let me also tell you something very quickly about that one. You know, in real life, I used to explain people a lot of stuff, how to automate stuff, blah blah blah. I simply stopped doing that. The thing is, people need to prove first a little bit of dedication and or persistence in any kind of habit that they actually formed. And of course, everybody can do things one time and then want the results and then stop doing it. But then you have to do it 7 times, 10 times, 50 times, 100 times. See, and there you go. That separates the sheep from the herd. Yeah, but Alan, that sounds very disrespectful. No, because deep inside people want always more, but never willing to pay the price or never figure out what they really want. And I also talked about this in one other vlog, a very short vlog. If you don't know what you want, make a list of all the things that you don't want. That does 2 things. You take the time to actually focus on stuff that you don't want, 100% that you don't want. And even if you're not 100% sure if you don't want it, just start writing, because it does something with your mindset. What does it do, Dylan? Now, for example, what are you doing now? What did you do the last 60 minutes? Did you focus on your future, or a little bit scrolling like a wild baboon, faster than a Jedi? Thinking about the next cup of coffee at this famous coffee thing, and then you have to open your laptop from a famous brand so everybody can see that you drink the coffee and have this beautiful laptop that you paid a lot of money for, but it has a lot of power, and you simply don't know how to use the power, because the majority of those people are freelancers or we name them, you know, that's the one of the things, right? Digital nomad. Trust me, you don't want to get in that business model. But we're not gonna get in business models, because then people will ask, no, what should I do then? Well, I'm giving everything away for free. And by the way, there's another option that I discovered. It simply it says YouTube, and then there are tabs, and it's courses. So what I'm gonna do over there, I'm gonna drop videos over there, because people seem to find it very hard to send me a message or whatever. The thing is, we're not getting into this, but I will start uploading very focused on a single topic in the courses thing section of YouTube. It simply exists. I actually figured this out. And when it's also about another thing, now I'm recording. Oh no, I'm actually live streaming. Live streaming in landscape mode. But I figured out how to do this in portrait mode. What is the difference, Dalla? Now I'm gonna tell you exactly why I want to, because I wanted to use my GoPro Hero 12, and that one can only live stream in portrait mode or in landscape mode. But the thing is, when you're in portrait mode, then your live stream pops up between all the YouTube shorts, and that obviously gives you way much more viewers and interaction. So that's the whole thing behind it. And I tried multiple strategies to actually do it with the GoPro Hero 12, because like now it's raining and I don't want to put my phone in the rain. And yes, I could use a rain bag. You know, I got the rain bag, because it's not actually a rain bag, it's a water bag. You know, when I lived in Malta, one of my contacts, he is selling them on the Blue Lagoon. So, and I thought, yeah, when it's so rainy over here in Bulgaria, I can use them. So I use it. But okay, long story short, where was I? I went from oh yeah, the option of YouTube, that there's now a section named courses. So I'm gonna do those. How to start using your phone to claim your freedom. See, and then it's of course up to you. I'm giving everything away for free. I'm doing everything from the phone. I'm 47, and you as a 25-year-old can scroll as fast as a Jedi, consume all the cat videos, and talk about it, share it, comment. Maybe here and there some negative comments like, oh, look at the legs of this guy, or whatever. Oh, she has very small titties. Ha ha ha. No. That is not important. If you really think about your actions, and I'm going somewhere with this, if you really think about your actions, and not only this, but the actions also from other people, and really focus on it, but obviously always first yourself. Like what I always say, be incredibly judgmental to yourself. Trust me, when I'm cutting up my videos and, you know, creating some shorts, I have to constantly look at myself, and trust me, that's not always a fun thing to do, because you know, you start discovering a lot of things about yourself, the way you speak, the way you move, your fingers, your toes. It's not nice. But you know what, when it's about my vlogging thing, I see it as one big growth process. So along the way I communicate better also with in real time with people. I think now at the moment on my YouTube channel there are over, I don't know what, 1600 plus videos, and I got another channel as 800 plus videos, and I got way much more videos. But you know, in case, you know, some people what I talk with them, especially also with business partners and blah blah blah, who don't feel very comfortable on the camera to speak about their business, because this is what I'm always saying, right? If you're bored out of your mind in your self-employed business model, and which is also something most people like to be stuck, you know, and then just tell the world that you run a business, but in the end you just became a slave of yourself, because you know, how do you make the rent or whatever for the business? And let me tell you this, Do I look down on those people? No, I have been there. I did this 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago. And the thing is, I know better now. So that's why I'm sharing it, and that's why I can speak like this, and that's why I can stand in the middle of here, speak with you, and then maybe do a chat with one or two, and then make some movements on my phone, maintaining some processes. But anyway, when you are sitting on your business and actually begging for clients, because that's, hey, if you're really very honest, you buy or you rent a place somewhere on the street because you're simply looking at a location because it has foot traffic. So the foot traffic decides, and of course I understand you will say, yeah, but Alan, I make incredible offers, and then you present the offer to me, because a lot of people send their offers to me, and then the majority of traditional thinkers, they come up with 10% discounts. Yeah, then I think, why in the hell you actually consider to start doing a business? You can better maintain a job, same result, bored out of your mind. You're anyway not focused on growth. And that's another thing. People who are focused on growth and they run into me, they ask me the questions. People who are running into me and they don't ask me the question, they're simply not there over here mentally. And okay, I talk with them with all the respect. I give them once in a while a little bit directions, suggestions. Never force my perspective of life upon people. So you have to believe in this, you have to open the Bible, otherwise you will end up in hell. No, I don't speak like that. The thing is, I always give people a little bit direction, whatever they do with it, they just do with it. And I always tell them, you have access to me. And people always also implement this one. If you ever consider to talk a little bit quote-unquote serious, then show me what you have done, and not the past 24 hours, the past 30 days. Because we all know those people who say they train a little bit. Of course you did, of course. You go to a place where all the people train very comfy, and then you expect a different mindset, a different outcome. Do I look down on people who go to the gym? No, not at all, because there are guys and girls in great shape. But I am having a little bit of different approach to this. See, we all know the majority of those people run self-employed businesses and or go to jobs. What does that mean? They have the same mindset. Would you like to swim between people with the same mindset? No, because they all don't know how to set themselves free from slavery and or self-slavery. Because they have to go to the business because otherwise this and this, or they have to wear the suit because otherwise you don't get clients. That means you constantly are depending on externals. You don't want this. Is that necessary? No, it's totally not necessary, and that's why I constantly talk about do everything from your phone. And not only this, my strategies are based upon communication. Yeah, but Alan, I'm very introvert. No, just replace that word. You're unexperienced, and nobody else tells you that you should just get over yourself and tell you that you only live once and you gotta do it. Yeah, but Alan, I know you very long and you were also very shy. Yes, great. But I simply started doing it. And even now you think I'm a total idiot. Great. Probably tomorrow when I look at myself, I also gonna think, what an idiot. Because I am focused on every single day, every segment of my life, every single process in my life, every kind of communication, engagement that I have with a person, I just evaluate, and I think, okay, could have done this better. Maybe you keep your hands a little bit lower, keep it this and this, blah blah blah. Maybe speak a little bit slower with this person, that person. Don't give too much value to that person, because we already discovered one single lie. And people who are lying, You know, I talk constantly about this. People who are lying, they are fooling themselves. And that's all nice that you all go wiggle waggle through life in one big fantasy world, like you know, you swirl around between the valleys, you know, on a big pink pony with wings and everything. But that's not real life. That's why I show you where I am always. Not always at the exact time and blah blah blah. Now I am live, so I am over here in Holy Trinity Park in Sofia, Bulgaria. But when it's also about my training, this is real, you know. Every time when people are not training on the calisthenics spots, I think, yes, that's why I deserve where I am. That sounds so cocky, Dallon. I am far away from cocky. I'm just telling you that you should start thinking like this. It's your life, and your life only. Nobody else gives a shit. Yeah, but Dallon, I have very great friends. Okay, again, did you ever tested them? Get into real trouble. You will filter the cowards in a finger snap. I know, been there, done that. I lived in multiple countries, ended up in tons and tons and tons and tons of situations, because I am, yeah, you probably understand, I'm now 47, but I also lived a very colorful life. My energy is a little bit higher than the average 47-year-old fart. I think also higher than the average 25-year-old fart, and also a lot of 16-year-old farts. And why do you say it's so disrespectful, Eleanor? Simply, I'm trying to make a point over here. You only live once. Because a lot of young guys, I know, they say, yeah, but Alan, I'm 18 years old. I got time of my, you know, got more than enough time. With Papi and Mommy, they buy everything. I got food, I got a roof, I got everything. No, you don't have anything. You don't have discipline, and you don't take care of yourself. Start taking care of yourself, then you can call yourself a man. And why do I say this? Well, for a couple of days ago, I walked into an let's say an extreme right young guy. Extreme right. But weakness always need groups of people. So when I walk into those people, when they alone, yeah, then they're not so tough. And also even with 5 or somewhat, I don't give a shit. I'm willing to die on the spot if necessary. I try to avoid any kind of conflict, but I got a good record when it's about taking care of business. But I prefer not. So when it's about weakness or people who pretend that they, you know, tough young guys, and then in the meantime had their parents, they buy their clothes, give a roof above their head, and they get money for donors. Well, you know, just you don't even touch life. Yeah, but my grandmother died. Okay, yeah, that is life. People come and go. Yeah, but I just broke up with my girlfriend. No, I'm very sad. Yes, part of life. Just do it more. Break up 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 10 times. Never gets easy, but you get used to it, and you will understand. There are 8 billion people on this planet. If you don't have the guts or those 2 things between your legs, I'm talking to the guys, to speak with 1 out of 8 billion people, well, then you have big problems. Because you have to understand you only live once. And you know, this is also a fun thought, maybe not for everybody, but I always say, and I also said, I don't know, a couple of minutes ago about, you know, you got this whole group of people inside the gym, very warm, cozy, lighting is good, you can show your abs and your biceps, and you do all the food perfectly, you know, you do the powders every hour, every 2 hours you eat. But there's a danger in that. You become dependent of what? If you don't eat for 2 days, so you lose all your muscle mass or whatever you build up. Because we all know most people who are in great shape, who are going to the gym, put them, let's say, for 7 days in solitary, you know, confinement, and a little bit extra stress on their mind, and then things are going away, they're fading away. You don't want that. You want to be resilient. If necessary, you go for a few days without food and you still put in the work without complaining. How can you talk like this, Dalla? Well, I have been homeless. I had times or periods that I didn't eat for fucking four days and still did my 7-kilometer run. Do I say this to brag? No, but I'm just speaking to you who thinks that, you know, sometimes maybe to take it easy. Days are ticking. You got maybe 18 hours. A lot of people also sleep way much longer, and then also maybe 2-3 hours of mindless scrolling. So what is left? Let's assume you sleep for 8 hours. It's also ridiculous. Then 5 hours of scrolling, maybe 3. So you slept for, let's say, 8, and you scroll for 3 hours. Well, that if you really think about it, it's 11 hours per day. That is totally to waste. Okay, you need to sleep, but you can also sleep a little bit faster. So let's say 6 hours. And if you need more sleep, then I would highly suggest that you take a look at your diet. A lot of sugars, a lot of other BS that you shouldn't put in your body, and then complain about that your heart is almost exploding while you go 2 stories high in an apartment building. Yeah, just be very judgmental to yourself. And again, I'm always saying it with the best intentions, because mommy and daddy in general don't have the best life advice. And if we really go back and start drilling it down, most mommy and daddies, that is all fun if they have a normal job. What kind of mindset will they put in you? You gotta go to school, you're gonna graduate, you're going to some other stuff, you're gonna go to university, maybe you get pregnant over there, or you make somebody else pregnant, so that would be your first divorce, and then hopefully you're gonna graduate so you can get this very fine mortgage, which is necessary because you need to build that nest because you accidentally knocked up one girl, or the other way around. The thing is, then you're stuck. Yeah, but no, when everybody around me has mortgages and they stuck to it for a long time, yeah, good for them. It's not necessary. It's all not necessary. It's really not necessary. See, I live pretty extreme, and I lived even more an extreme life. But the thing is, you can take away some of the thoughts that I'm sharing and implement some in your life. So look at it, look in the mirror. Can you say at the end of the day that you're very proud of yourself, that you say, no, little Timmy, you did this so good, but tomorrow I will do it better? Yeah, but that feels like that I'm never doing things enough. No, you don't. Me neither. Nobody. You're never good enough. And if you're in peace with that part, then you know where to go. Just do every day a little bit better. Every single day a little bit better, but consistent, not once per week. Once per week you give once per week a compliment. Hey, I'm saying this, or I said this multiple times in my vlogs, you know, giving compliments is for free. Not only this, nobody ever went to jail for giving too many compliments, so try it. Why would I do this, Dalla? Now, first of all, you make other people feel great, and I'm gonna talk about something. Wherever I go, I always greet the people, and if I can, you know, my Bulgarian is I'm in Bulgaria. My Bulgarian is very half broken, but all of a sudden when I live with a Bulgarian woman, I speak pretty good. But that's another story. I did, but the thing is, a few times. But anyway, besides that, when I walk into the supermarket, I always try to make the people a little bit smile. And if you watch, you know it's true. The thing is, why? Well, first of all, they do a great service. Yeah? The luxury of going to a supermarket and the people behind the register, yeah, they do their job. I know a lot of supermarkets where I came for the first time, they're as grumpy as hell, but you know, I make them a little bit laugh. And now I'm walking in, they always have a little bit, oh, there's the guy who actually greets us normally. Is this to brag? No, I'm just trying to motivate you. Everybody, the people who clean up the street, everybody has a function for society. Yeah, but then you said jobs are bad. I didn't say it's bad, but it's a mindset that you don't want when you want to live a life of freedom, when you don't want to be somebody else's slave, that you control your own time, that you don't have to ask your master for, can I go for 2 weeks outside this country, far away from you, so I can eat pizzas with my spouse and make pictures of it, left, right, half full wine glasses, nice, and then compare it with my colleagues. Where did you go? I went to Greece. Where did you go? Hey, I also went to Greece. I didn't see you over there. Good. You don't want that. You just want to be, let's say, a little percentage the way I live. If I want to go somewhere, I go to live over there. Why you're in Sofia, Bulgaria, Dala? Well, simple. Because I like Sofia, Bulgaria. 17 years ago I arrived over here. I lost everything in Holland. And then I got back on my feet, and then I actually left Bulgaria. We went to Malta, lived in Malta for 5 years. And now I'm back already for 3 years here in Sofia, Bulgaria. Well, why do you stay over there? It doesn't look very great. Wouldn't be better if you make pictures where the water is blue and the sand is yellow? Maybe I do have those pictures, but trust me, the amount of time that you will find me on the beach laying down on a freaking towel, first of all, there's only 2 ways that would ever happen. Maybe on a date, or I'm totally hammered. But otherwise I'm not gonna lay down on the beach. What the hell I'm gonna do over there? Going totally freakishly nuts. I always want to see, I'm hyper obsessed with engaging with the world, and you don't do those on beaches, at least not me. I'm not a big, oh shit, actually I think the microphone of because it's raining now, and that's also one of the reasons I cannot live stream from my mobile phone, and in portrait mode I talked about this. But anyway, it also gets, the rain is getting worse and worse. But you know what? More space on the calisthenics spot, because everybody wants to sit in front of the television instead of working on themselves. Hey, and by the way, if you know, one of those people who prefer to sit for the television, just look at the 1 minute exercise. 1 minute exercise and you train your whole body. How is that possible, Dala? Well, it took me many years to compile that whole thing, because it's given away for free, looks very simple, but once you put in the work, I had multiple guys who started doing it, but of course those are normal people, 9-to-5ers, and one is I don't know, he's planning to take over some self-employed business model. But the thing is, they give up after 21 days because, yeah, I don't see any abs. You know what? Good for you. And that's why, and that's how we separate the sheep from the herd. And again, no disrespect, but if you want more, you want that hotter girlfriend, or you want that hot guy that lives around the corner, and you don't have the balls to actually talk to him or her, well, put in the work. I always say, pay the price up front, and you will get paid by the price or with the reward. And if not, if you're not gonna get paid with the reward, then at least you had this growth period, so you will maybe get rewarded in a different direction than you actually really wanted. But growth is a compounding thing. That's the thing, a compounding thing. That's the thing, a compounding. Oh, it's also getting, I want to say so much more stuff, or actually also walk a little bit more, but you know, now it is very rainy, and I don't know if the microphone is working properly, but I'm going to the calisthenics spot. Maybe I will just record. I put the camera on the stative. See, because I'm in Sofia, Bulgaria, and I know pretty much all the calisthenics spots. Let's say 80%, because every single month they're popping up new ones, by the way. Okay, maybe every 2 months, because I saw some new ones. But now, because it's raining, I don't want to walk around in the mud. So I'm thinking that one over there next to Mall Sofia is very muddy now, So I am going towards Sveta Trojica. I could also train over here, but in the Holy Trinity Park, but always, I don't know, it's not my thing. I don't know, maybe also because I stay in the Airbnb over here. Maybe, I don't know. I got nothing against this Holy Trinity Park. I do a lot of things over here, like vlogging. And sometimes when I need to pee, I pee in the bushes. Don't tell anybody. But anyway, now we going to a calisthenics spot where they got stones, those rubber stones. Not these, because these are concrete. But about those stones, they're always dry. Maybe I'm even gonna walk to the West Park. You know, maybe if you wonder, why don't you drive around in your car? Well, then my live stream wouldn't be as long as now. And maybe you're already fed up with listening to me, but you know, I could also see the thing is now, this is simply for today's thing plan. I need to work on some projects in Malta, and and yesterday I did my Sunday regime, which is always running in combination with the calisthenics. Now I'm only doing calisthenics. Tomorrow it's again only running. So now I'm gonna do because I'm gonna get on a new regime, because I want to bulk up a little bit, but not in a way that I'm gonna look like a little tiny rolled up squirrel, because like I always say, you know, I'm not the tallest guy, so I don't want to have those huge shoulders, but I want to have a little bit more let's say impressive muscle mass, but also keep that lean stuff. And that's why I always do the runs, to put oxygen. I always talk about, no, I don't always, but this is how I think. You build muscle, needs more oxygen. Why? Well, you put a bigger engine in a car, what do? You also expand the exhaust. You need more air. And I believe that when you have more air intake, you know, more energy, more focused, your brain, all those oxygen things reach the depths of your brain, and maybe the in your toes. You know, that's why, you know, I had periods when I smoked. Also a couple of days ago I smoked a couple of cigarettes, but of course I have to punish myself, because you know, I'm not gonna get that back into smoking thing, because yeah, you know, then it close the little veins, you get cold toes, cold fingers. You know, my adopted parents, they died both from the smoking thing, and not in a fun way. Dying is never fun, I know, but the thing is, you don't want, you know, at the end of your story, that you actually think like, now what if I didn't smoke so much, I would live, let's say, 1 hour extra. And trust me, when you're on that dying bed, you wish for one more time. Wait a minute, play. You wish for one more time to eat a burger, in case you're into the burger things, or you want more time. And not only this, when it's about time, it's also what you're doing with the time. And that's why I talk about people who constantly scrolling. That is all fun, but also do something then useful. If you scroll, maybe you become a professional Twitch scroller, you know, that you show everybody what you're showing, give comments on it, so you build an audience. I always talk about the audiences, but anyway, when it's about the rain, come on, man. Sometimes, actually in the beginning, I had a little bit of thought, you know, that maybe it's better sometimes that it snows and it's cold, because now I don't know if the microphone is working off the phone, if it's from the GoPro Hero 12. Sometimes when it's rainy, it fills up the microphone part. I think I also should stop vlogging now, because I think it's clogging up the microphone hole. Anyway, let's cut it. I'm going to walk. No, why would I cut? If you cannot hear me, you can just see it. It's raining. Let's cross the road. Why did the chicken cross the road? To be very honest, now when I think about that quote-unquote joke, why did the chicken cross the road? See, I'm not really into telling jokes and all that kind of stuff, but I remember that is a very famous thing, right? But because blah blah blah, I don't know even why. But once I saw the joke somewhere and I thought, why is that such a famous thing? Because it's a pretty known thing, right? Yeah, but you don't know it, Alan. Yeah, true, but I'm not in reading jokes thing. Why did the chicken cross the road? I don't know. I really don't know. Those are the mysteries of life. When it's about chickens, the chicken or the egg, what was first? And that's of course the whole thing. Do I have my thoughts about this? No. Because we will never know, right? Or maybe we do. I am not into the biologist or animal stuff that I know enough about how they produce themselves. Yeah, I do know how they produce themselves or reproduce themselves, but anyway. Rainy. I got wet feet, but it doesn't matter. Who cares? Who cares? That's the thing about also the calisthenics, right? I love it. Do you know why I love the calisthenics thing? Well, simply because steel, concrete, rubber. Okay, those are the rubber floors, and rubber the tires, you know, to flip the tires. And the thing about those three materials, why do I love those things in combination, the shape that they have? Simply because they don't care. They actually symbolize life. Life doesn't care if you do it or not. And that's the thing about humans, right? They have the liberty, the luxury of choice. Oh, today I'm not gonna do it. But this is the thing. Do you see this poor guy? Not the dead person. The tree. He doesn't have a choice. He will keep on growing till the day he dies. Or that the human says, no, let's get rid of it. You take away my son. But the tree will keep on growing like any other animal. You think that the lion lies down somewhere and then says, you know what, I'm gonna take a year off watching Netflix. Wow. No, he doesn't, because when you do this, you're not gonna survive. See, and humans have this cozy thing, you know, they're very nesting in, and then you don't have to do anything because, and let's talk a little bit about people on the welfare thing. I'm not talking about the welfare people who really need it, but the people, and we all know those people, you know, they don't need all the welfare, because a lot of people, they take advantage of the freedom that they have by drinking and partying. And not only this, I talked about this before. When you have that extra amount of time of freedom, let's say it like this, that money is coming in, then take advantage of it, you know. Start researching how to actually grab life by the balls. Grow some discipline, maybe some I don't know what, some muscles, something that benefits you. Compounding effects. Do every day something, even if it's for 15 minutes, right? Oh, it's getting rainy more and more, and I don't know if the microphone is still working. Okay, I think we gotta stop. Or simply I forget about the microphone, and if you cannot hear my voice, then so be it. I will upload anyway way much more videos. I will anyway do way much more live streams. And of course, when it's about the live streams, I'm actually excited about it, that I figured out now somewhat a good working structure. I'm not just start doing things and then do it 1 or 2 or 3 times. I want to implement things that have actions that have always compounding effects. You know, like the videos, they keep on getting views, not the millions, but keeps on going. Stacking the videos, stacking. Has a lot of benefits, by the way. When it's about, let's say, build trust, or when I meet new people, they know my character, you know. And you cannot fabricate hundreds and hundreds of videos. Of course, maybe people can, but if you watch my videos, you don't see me sitting in the swimming pool drinking a cocktail once per I don't know what, to make content. No, I'm walking raw on the street while it's also raining. You can see it now. See, wet. It's all real. It's wet. I got cold fingers, but who cares? I got wet feet. My shoes are dirty. Who cares? Nobody. We just do it. Bam, bam, bam. We're gonna do the daily calisthenics regime, which is the 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 4 times, 3 times, 2 times, 1 time, and that is the deep dips plus knee raises, pull up plus knee raises, and then knee raises hanging and or on the parallel bar. And that's all. The choice, why do I say it like this, is simply which body part hurts the least. So when my back is, for example, very sensitive, then I do my arms crossed over the parallel bars. Ta-da! Problem solved. And I'm doing for a lot of forward lunges, backward lunges, stepping up things. Today I will upload one video, you know, stepping on a very high tire, so you train your behind. Yeah, but Dylan, I don't see my behind. Well, good for you, but if you get a spouse, she or he also wants something to look at. Wink, wink. And the thing is, yeah, but Dylan, but he or she, you know, likes the way I am. Of course. And that's why they hire strippers when they get married, and then they have to make a bond with the girlfriends or the boyfriends. So don't talk about that we actually bang the strippers. Think about it, just think about it. Put in the work. Do you deserve to walk next to that hot guy or hot girl or whatever? Put in the work. Or maybe you like your own sex. Put in the work. Or your own gender, I mean, you know. Just put in the work. Do you deserve it? Put value on the table every single day. When you wake up, reset every single day. Reset. I think Adam Sandler has a very nice movie about it. 50 First Dates, something. And I think it's a genius movie. I watched it once, a long time ago, and I thought it was very genius, right? Every day he needs to put in the work. And I think when you see a lot of couples, you know, at one point you get buddies, you know, friends. I had those relationships at one point, you know, you're friends with benefits. But the thing is, and that is not, I don't believe, love or whatever you can call it. Do I know what love is? No. Actually, nobody really does, right? Or what the correct way or the wrong way is. But what I somewhat think, I think a lot of people start losing the interest actually to put in the effort every single day. New you. So for example, also when it's about exes of mine, or actually all of them, you know, when they ask, do I dress too slutty, I always say no, do it a little bit more, because I always want to people express themselves in the most free way. Not like, oh, you cannot wear this because you look too slutty and all kind of guys will look at you. No. If you want that other guys look at you, first of all, I also like that. But the thing is, you know, if she's stable enough, or he or she is stable enough, then you know you got the right one. If they go the first night already banging a lot of other guys because they're wearing a shirt or the other gender around, the thing is, then you know, move on. 8 billion people on the planet, cut it through half, and you get a good amount of numbers to work with. And if you only contact 0.00001, then you already have a lot of contacts. And let's also now cut it, because it is raining harder and harder. The thing is, I saw an advertisement about people who cannot get dates. See, I'm also on Tinder and that kind of stuff, but it's simple, and also Bumble or something. The thing is, I just created profile, so you know, dotcombaron is everywhere. The thing is, that's the only reason. And if people want to find out more, they can simply Google me. The thing is, when it's about those events, that is again the same thing with I had to put out the water. It's the same thing with going to the gym. Everybody's over there cozy. When it's about the dating thing, they all gather in one big pile of people who are good at or not good at dating. So they have all the same skills, not good at dating. And maybe they will all have the excuse of, yeah, but I'm an introvert, I cannot talk with strangers on the street. Good for you. But you don't want to ask for more if you're not willing to put in more. Pay the price. So anyway, I thought about this. Not a lot of negativity, just reality. Just ask the question. To ask yourself, what did you do? Hey, are you really proud of all the things that you did today? Did you help somebody? Did you give somebody a compliment? Did you make other people feel good besides yourself? And did you buy yourself all kind of goodies to distract yourself from your bad behavior or your shitty habits? Or to justify the bag of Cheetos? Anyway, just saying, it is very, very rainy, and I don't know how clear you can hear me at the moment. Shitty. But you know what? There are worse things in life. Am I emotional attached to this, that this video has bad sound quality? No. Do I like it? No. But I'm not emotional attached. I just upload for the next 10 years more videos, and then probably most people would already forget about this one. So, you know, and somebody also said this, you know, anybody's, a stranger's negative opinions or positive, it doesn't matter at the end, right? It does not matter. We're all here for a short amount of time, so do what you gotta do what you feel what you gotta do, and not like I always did. I went over in everything totally bananas, but now I'm a little bit more let's say, I don't want to say wiser, more experienced. I think that's the word. And I embrace all lessons. I got messages and I don't want to look at them, but I have to. Let's take a looky. And also get a little bit cold feet, so I want to train, get it over with, and just enjoy the part when I can say, yeah, Alan, you did again another calisthenics session. Because this is my thought about missing out a day. You're simply missing a day of growth. Yeah, and I know what's coming now. You also need rest days. Okay, good for you. Rest days are just 5-kilometer runs or maybe 10-kilometer run. You know, there's always something that doesn't need to rest. You know, your heart is also not taking a 24-hour rest, right? It's also a muscle. Yeah, but Alan, but it's a total different muscle. Whoa, you're good. Yeah, that's true. But simply that's my mindset. I don't take days off. And in general, people who give you the advice to take days off, you know, total days off, that you really need to take a rest or whatever, take a little bit easy, little Timmy. Of course, because then you're on their level. Because then you also probably have to apply for a job. You don't want this. Again, I'm saying this to the people who want actually to take control of their time, their life, etc. For all the people who are good where they are, living like multi-millionaires, and of course have all the things in abundance, you don't need to do anything. I'm actually looking where to cross, because dirty. Anyway, I'm actually cleaning every day my shoes. I'm grateful for all the things that I do have in my life. So I'm not avoiding the mud for my shoes. I'm just, I don't know. Maybe also, oh yeah, also the people. I always avoid people on camera. I never want to make people angry or feel uncomfortable. So let's see over here. Very muddy person. Let's go over there. The calisthenics. Oh, Is there somebody? No. Calisthenics spot is empty. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, because not a lot of people like to train in the rain or the snow. But for me, I don't give a rat's ass. I prefer that it actually is like this, because when it's warm or not too warm, because then also people don't like it, eh? But when the temperature is like yesterday, then they pop up like mushrooms in autumn. Pop, 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 pop. You know, people pop up because now it's the time. I feel motivated, I feel great. Hallelujah. I need the sun on my skin, because otherwise I cannot function right. And when it rains, I prefer Netflix or any kind of other streaming video platform or gaming. And let's escape life, because I don't like life. Let's escape it. Or just grab it by the balls. Give me more rain, more snow, more hot burning sun, burn off my skin. And when it's done deal. And when you're dying somewhere under a rock in the Vitisha mountain over here, then you can say, no, I didn't best. That's it, ciao for now. And talking about ciao for now, it is for me and you time to say goodbye. There is a time of coming and there's a time of going, and the time of coming has arrived. Because I actually want to focus on the training instead of talking all the time. So I think it's time we separate our ways. And in the meantime, you can look at hundreds and hundreds of other videos where I speak about stuff. And like I said, also in this live stream, very soon I will start uploading the courses in the YouTube section. I never knew about that section, so yeah, every day you learn. So I'm gonna do this, and I think it's very nicely organized in my random willy-nilly thoughts on life, my experiences. And trust me, I'm just getting started. Probably after vlog number 500 or live stream 500, then I will start opening the registers of or the box of Pandora. Trust me, I'm just getting started. Maybe I didn't even get started. So yeah, I take my time. And in the meantime, take your time, hurry up, because we only live once. Only live once. Only live once. Look, here are my fans. Anyway, just kidding. Ciao for now. Greetings and ciao for now from Sofia, Bulgaria. Now, sweater.